Hey guys, in today's video I am going to be whispering facts about the 1985 classic Back to the Future. So lay back, relax, and let yourself drift away as I jump right into the facts frenzy and whisper facts about Back to the Future. The rights to the film and its sequels are owned by director and writer Robert Zemeckis and co-writer Bob Gale. In a 2015 interview, Zemeckis maintained that no reboot or remake of the film would be authorized during his or Gale's lifetime. Writers Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis actually received a fan letter from John DeLorean after the film's release, thanking them for immortalizing his car. In 2010, during a cast reunion, Michael J. Fox said that strangers still call him McFly constantly. Fox said that the most remarkable instance was when he was in a remote jungle in the South Asian country of Bhutan, located between China and India in the eastern Himalayas. A group of Buddhist monks passed him and one of them looked at Fox and said, "Marty McFly." The script to Back to the Future was rejected 44 times before it was finally greenlit. Biff's catchphrases, "make like a tree" and "get out of here" and "butthead" were both improvised by Thomas L. Wilson. Apparently, Ronald Reagan was amused by Doc Brown's disbelief that an actor like him could become president, so much so that he had the projectionists stop and replay the scene. He also seemed to enjoy it so much that he even made a direct reference of the film in his 1986 State of the Union address. As they said in the film Back to the Future, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." When the movie was previewed for a test audience, Industrial Light and Magic had not completed the final DeLorean in-flight shot, and the last several minutes of the movie were previewed in black and white. It didn't matter, as the audience roared in approval of the final scene anyway. According to Bob Gale, on October 26, 1985, a group of people showed up at the mall used to film the Twin Pines Mall location to see if Marty would arrive in the DeLorean. He, of course, did not. When Lorraine follows Marty back to Doc's house, she and Doc exchange an awkward greeting. This marks the only on-screen dialogue that Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson ever have, though they have appeared together in 6 other movies. The inspiration for the film largely stems from Bob Gale discovering his father's high school yearbook and wondering whether he would have been friends with his father as a teenager. Gale also said that if he had the chance to go back in time, he would really go back and see if they would have been friends. Crispin Glover, who played Marty's dad in the movie, claimed to have seen the film only once, shortly after its release. In contrast, Christopher Lloyd stated that when he stumbles across a Back to the Future film while channel surfing, he often sits and watches it. Christopher Lloyd stated that he always wanted to do one more movie in the series, in which Marty and Doc Brown travel back to ancient Rome. Doc's distinctive, hunched-over look developed when the filmmakers realized the extreme difference in height between Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. Fox is 5 feet 4.5 inches, while Lloyd is 6 foot 1 inch. compensate for the height difference, director Robert Zemeckis used specific blocking where the two often stood far apart at different camera depths. For close-ups, Lloyd would have to hunch over to appear in frame with Fox. The same approach was used in the sequels. The sticker on the back of Doc's truck reads, "One nuclear bomb can ruin your whole day." Musician Mark Campbell did all of Michael J. Fox's singing. He is credited as Marty McFly. Mark was perhaps best known as the lead singer of popular 1980s band Jack Mack and the Heart Attack. Back to the Future was the top grossing release of 1985. The DeLorean was deliberately selected for its general appearance and gull-wing doors in order to make it plausible that people in 1955 would presume it to be an alien spacecraft. A persistent myth is that Michael J. Fox had to learn to skateboard for the film. In fact, he was a reasonably skilled skateboarder, having ridden throughout high school. However, Per Welinder acted as a skateboarding double for the complex scenes. He also choreographed and coordinated the skateboarding action together with Robert Schmelzer. The mall where Marty McFly meets Doc Brown for their time travel experiment is called Twin Pines Mall. Doc Brown comments that old farmer Peabody used to own all of the land, and he grew pines there. When Marty goes back in time, he runs over and knocks down a pine tree on the Peabody's property. When he comes back to the mall at the end of the film, the sign at the mall identifies the mall as Lone Pine Mall. It took 3 hours in makeup to turn the 23-year-old Leah Thompson into the 47-year-old Lorraine. Michael J. Fox has said that Marty being categorized as riding skateboards, chasing girls, and interests in playing music with hopes of becoming a rock star was the exact same way he was during his own high school days. According to Bob Gale, Johnny Depp auditioned for the role of Marty McFly. "I looked through the notes and I said, geez, I don't even remember that we read Johnny Depp, so whatever he did, I guess it wasn't all that memorable." At the London Comic Con 2015, Michael J. Fox admitted that his 4 children, 1 son and 3 daughters in their teens and 20s, have never saw the movie. According to an interview he did on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, Crispin Glover lost his voice due to nervousness while filming this movie. For some scenes, he had to silently mouth his lines, with his voice being dubbed in later at a recording studio. While filming the parking scene with Marty and young Lorraine in the car, the production crew decided to play a practical joke at Michael J. Fox's expense. The scene called for Fox to drink from a prop liquor bottle filled with water and do a spit take when he sees Lorraine with a cigarette. For a specific take, however, the prop liquor bottle was switched for one which contained real alcohol inside. Fox, unaware of this, performed the scene and drank from the bottle, only to discover the switch after the fact. The full gag is featured on the outtake section of the DVD. Huey Lewis was asked by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale to write a song for the film. However, the two Bobs were not thrilled with the first song. Huey brought back Thomas F. Wilson disliked working with Eric Stoltz, who played Marty before Michael J. Fox took over the role, finding him a little too serious and aggressive. Before Stoltz was released, they had already filmed the near fight between Marty and Biff in the high school cafeteria. During takes of this scene, Stoltz would push back on Wilson so hard that Wilson got bruises. Although in real life Wilson was nothing like the bully that Biff is, he wanted to get his revenge. He had planned to get back at Stoltz by giving him a real punch in the gut during the scene where he pulls Marty out of the car at the dance. Stoltz was fired before Wilson got that chance. One of the movie's deleted scenes shows Marty peeking in on a class in 1955 and seeing his mother cheating on a test. Billy Zane makes his first on-screen appearance in this film as Match, one of Biff's cronies. According to Bob Gale, in one of the early drafts of the script, Marty's original last name was McDermott, but it was thought to have been too many syllables. It was Robert Zemeckis who then came up with naming him McFly. Eric Stoltz insisted that the cast and crew address him as Marty, even when cameras weren't rolling. He would also wear Marty's wardrobe while traveling to and from the set each day. According to Tom Wilson, the only time that method acting Stoltz would break character was when Eric would actively flirt with Leah Thompson in between takes. This movie holds the record of staying at number 1 at the box office for 3 solid months. Michael J. Fox is only 10 days younger than Leah Thompson, who plays his mother, and is almost 3 years older than his on-screen father, Crispin Glover. Thomas F. Wilson is a very nice man in real life who drew upon his own personal experiences of being bullied as a child to create the Biff persona. Match, played by Billy Zane, is the only one of Biff's 3 sidekicks without a single line in the entire movie. It is not until Back to the Future Part 2 that Match finally has a line. When Marty is playing Johnny B. Good and Marvin calls his cousin Chuck Berry on the phone to tell him about the new sound he is looking for, this is all taking place on November 12, 1955. On that date, in actuality, Berry was named Most Promising New R&B Artists by Billboard. Alan Silvestri's orchestra for the score of the film was the largest ever assembled at that time, with 85 musicians. The film went on to inspire the animated adult comedy Rick and Morty, which has gone on to be an equally popular franchise and is the most viewed series on Adult Swim. The show focuses on a stuttering scientist named Rick and his young, often fearful companion Morty, both complete spoofs of the original characters. When Marty McFly leaves Doc Brown's garage because he is late for school, Bob Gale mentioned in a commentary that the garage was actually a flat put next to a Burger King restaurant in Burbank, California. As part of their agreement with Burger King, the studio wasn't given any money from the restaurant for their cameo, but Burger King did allow the crew to film their scenes for free and allowed them to park there. The main setting, 1955, is the year that Albert Einstein, the dog's namesake, actually died. As Marty is entering his high school in 1985, the building appears run down and has been covered with graffiti. One of the pieces of graffiti reads, "Leah loves Calvin." It serves as an Easter egg of sorts, as it points to Leah Thompson's 1955 character falling head over heels for Calvin Klein. When the DeLorean is introduced and Doc Brown comes out of it, smoke is pouring out of the interior of the car. This never happens again and is never explained. In the first scene at the diner, Marty asks for a Pepsi Free. This refers to a brand of Pepsi that was the company's first caffeine-free cola. In the same scene, Marty asks for a Tab, which was actually a Diet Cola brand produced by Pepsi's rival, Coca-Cola. Regardless, both orders confused the man behind the counter. James Tolkien was the first and only choice to play Mr. Strickland. Doc Brown's car in 1955 is a 1950 Packard Super 8 convertible. This is the only film in the trilogy in which Marty is not called a coward by Biff or any of his family members. When 1955 Doc Brown sees the videotape of himself explaining the need for 1.21 gigawatts of power, he goes back to the house and is seen talking to a picture frame that he refers to as Tom. When he returns the picture to the mantle, we can see that this was Thomas A. Edison with whom he was speaking. To Edison's left on the mantle are Sir Isaac Newton and Benjamin Franklin. To his right is Albert Einstein, Doc's inspiration for time machine invention. There are several mentions to the Davy Crockett craze that took place throughout the mid-1950s. When Marty first walks through 1955 Hill Valley, he sees a sign advertising new Davy Crockett records. When he goes into Lou's Diner, the ballad of Davy Crockett, sung by the title star Fess Parker, is heard on the jukebox. When Marty sits down to dinner with Lorraine's family, Lorraine's younger brother is wearing a coonskin cap. Ranked number 10 on the American Film Institute's list of the 10 greatest films in the sci-fi genre in June 2008. Tim Robbins was considered for the role of Biff Tannen. The Back to the Future trilogy is ranked at number 9 on IGN's top 25 movie franchises of all time, despite the fact that the word franchise was not in use when this trilogy was released. It wasn't used to describe everything until the early 2000s. In the scene where Doc is reviewing the videotape from 1985, Doc would have had to have fashioned some sort of an adapter to hook into the television set, as videotape technology of any type was not developed until 1958. When a policeman asks Doc for a permit for the weather experiment, he can be seen opening his wallet in the background while Marty is sneaking his warning note about the future. This could suggest that Doc is bribing the policeman. In the scene where Marty tells little baby Joey in his crib that he'd better get used to the bars, Joey is dressed in a striped outfit resembling the traditional black and white striped prison outfits of the past. Lou's Cafe in 1955 becomes the aerobics center Marty passes in the beginning in 1985. When George falls out of the tree, Mr. Beans, Lorraine's dad, yells, "Stella, another one of these kids jumped in front of the car." Presumably, George was not the first to peep on Lorraine from that same tree. Well guys, I think that we will leave it there for this video, but I hope you enjoyed this Whispered Facts video about Back to the Future. It was one of my all-time favourite childhood movies, and one I will always enjoy watching no matter how many times I've seen it. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of you as well. But if you did enjoy the video, hit the like button below as it helps the channel to grow, and also subscribe if you're new around here, and if you click the notification bell you won't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. But thanks for joining me again, as always. I highly appreciate it. And until next time guys, rest easy, sleep well, and I'll see you all very soon on the next video. Bye guys.